Top of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday, preparing you for a better week ahead. I awoke this morning with Ubuntu on my mind, that concept that comes from the African continent. At the same time, I have been wondering, what is it that has made so many people so woefully and self-destructively gullible these days? I can cite many instances of gullibility today from America and elsewhere in the world, but that would be too close to advertising and promoting the nonsense. But suffice it to say that many of the references I might have drawn are believed by people who also believe that a felon is not a criminal, that a man who declared bankruptcy multiple times is a good businessman. They are the same people who believe that a man who lied over 30,000 times in public office is worthy of a second shot at public office and nothing could go wrong. They fervently believe that a person who first bragged about grabbing women by their privates, who second was accused by over 24 women for doing exactly that, who thirdly was convicted by a court of law for doing exactly that, and who fourthly is blocking every attempt to release the Epstein files, they believe that such a man is a good man. They believe that he's a Christian, even though he is never seen in church on any Sunday, maybe on the golf course if that is his church. And I would bet big money if I were a gambler that this man could not quote John 3:16 or Psalm 1 or Psalm 23 or what is commonly known as the Lord's Prayer. These astonishingly gullible people so believed that a felon, a criminal, a fraudster, a liar, a sex offender, and an imposturous Christian, that's one and the same person, by the way, not 6 different people, was the best choice for being protector of their fragile democracy and their treasury, their more fragile institutions, and their most tattered state of disunity. They so believed that about 2/3 of them elected him to office, 1/3 actively, and the second third tacitly by staying home and not voting at all. What a gullible people 1/3 or half or 2/3 of Americans are. They are the ruin of the 4/4 of us all. And by the way, that man is not the only prominent American, alive or dead, who has been most gullibly mistaken for a Christian. It's like Jesus never even said, "Not everyone who cries, 'Lord, Lord,' shall enter the kingdom." But as I said, I wanted to talk about Ubuntu and gullibility, and was not at all surprised to note with a little research that they are both related. The problem that prevails when Ubuntu is absent is related to gullibility, and Ubuntu is therefore the remedy to both gullibility and that problem. Ubuntu basically means humanity to others. It means I am what I am because of who we all are. I usually put it this way: I can only see me because I see you. That is what Ubuntu is. I can be me only because I recognize you. The absence of Ubuntu, therefore, is a basket of deplorables including prejudice, selfishness, disregard, subordination, supremacy, depersonalization, hate, hatred, xenophobia, racism, classism, sexism, ageism, misogyny, bigotry, inequity, injustice, oppression, wars, genocide, and much more. This basket of 20 deplorables, starting with prejudice and ending with mass death, genocide, is related to gullibility. That ability to believe not just the highly improbable, but also the totally implausible. You see, in study after study in psychology, it is revealed that there is most certainly an indirect connection between gullibility and prejudice. At the heart of both is the absence of logic, the absence of critical thinking, the absence of objective analysis, the presence of bias, implicit and otherwise, the presence of faulty assumptions and flimsy or no evidence. I have noticed that both gullible people and prejudicial people are more easily manipulable by dishonest politicians, false preachers and false prophets, shysters and frauds, and cult leaders. Now, how does Ubuntu offer potential relief from gullibility, prejudice, and the 19 other deplorables I named before? Here's the answer. We need to begin seeing ourselves in someone else once again. Murderers should see themselves in their would-be victims' fearful eyes before they pull that trigger or strike that deadly blow. Politicians should see their own fortune tied to their opposing party's supporters' welfare before they fire people wickedly or arrest them illegally or exact vindictive retribution, all for purely political gain. In Israel and Palestine, Israelis should see Israelis in the eyes of Palestinians. And the man called Putin, and at least Putin, should see himself in the eyes of the Ukrainians that he is killing and bombing illegally. In Trinidad and Tobago, Indians should see Africans when they look into Africans' eyes and vice versa. In Jamaica, Laborites should see Laborites' faces when they look at a comrade's eyes and vice versa. In America, Republicans and conservatives should see Republicans and conservatives when they meet a Democrat and a liberal and vice versa. All of this would be easier to say than do if one or both sides keep up the prejudice and gullibility. One of the most unforgettable displays of Ubuntu I have seen was not even in Africa. It was in Japan. We had stopped at a toll booth outside of Yokohama, and we had stopped at the toll booth where a car at the front of the line at the booth was unable to cross the gate. That car appeared to have a problem and could not go through the toll gate. Our car was abreast the toll booth attendant's booth. Upon seeing the traffic buildup, she exited her booth, made eye contact with us, bowed to us with a generous smile, and proceeded to the car up front, making eye contact with the folks in the car immediately ahead of ours, and the folks in the car stalled at the gate and bowing at both. She exchanged information with the car at the gate, and as she made her way back to her booth, repeated the eye contact, smile, and deep bowing to the folks in the car ahead of us and to us as she went into her booth. She attended to something in her booth to rectify the problem, and as she was making her way back to the car at the front of the line at the gate, she did the whole eye contact, bow, smile ritual to us, to the people in the car in front of us, and to the car with the problem at the front of the line at the gate. She sorted out the problem with them, sent them on their way, and once again, you guessed it, passed the car in front of us, looked at the people in front, look at the people in the car, deeply into their eyes, smiled, bowed, came to our car, looked into our eyes, smiled, bowed, and went to her toll booth the final time. All of this was done with genuine human notice and contact, none of it perfunctorily. This was a human being without a name, seeing me without a name to her, and I felt seen and valued. And somehow, I remember that woman more than anybody else that I met in Japan the whole 12 days I was there. And guess what? As I looked behind me, a long line of cars had piled up at this toll gate. Not a soul honked their horn. Not a hint of impatience was detected, and we all proceeded through the gate in peace and in quiet. It was as though we all saw ourselves in the people in that car at the front of the line. And so it should be. Let us begin again to see ourselves in others. Until then, we shall not truly know ourselves. Until then, our world will remain broken by people who neither know themselves nor their neighbors. We can stop that madness now. So please, share this video with someone and subscribe to my channel. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again soon. Happy Monday, all the way to Friday. Ubuntu!